Good evening, and thank you for coming to another night with Repair, Restore, and Grow Black Businesses. And thank you for supporting our podcast. We have this weekly podcast every Wednesday night. And as you know, our mission is to circulate dollars within the community. We need to do this so urgently. And that's the best way that we're going to help uplift our communities is by circulating the dollars, and we're circulating the dollars through our Black-owned businesses. And we have a responsibility as individuals to do this. It's not just the responsibility of our state representatives, of our aldermen, of the Chamber of Commerce, of our ministers, other leaders in our communities. We have responsibilities, a great responsibility as individuals who reside in the Black community to support these businesses. We support these businesses, then these businesses can help circulate the dollars to support us. I was listening to our alderman for my ward, Alderman Leslie Harrison, the Unite, talk about the census. And I know you've all heard that there's been a reduction in the percentage of white people, and they're 31.4%, but they're still dominant. And then with the Hispanic population, they have moved above the Black people. Their percentages are at 29.9, and ours is at 28.7. And then the Asian community has excelled in terms of their numbers. They're at 6.9%. And you want to look at how this occurs, and it's because of how all these different groups are counted together. When we look at the Hispanic community, you think it's the dominant group is the Mexicans, but this also includes Puerto Ricans, the Salvadorians, the Cubans, the Dominicans, the people from Guatemala, the Colombians, the Hondurans, the Ecuadorians, the Nicaraguans, the Venezuelans, and the Argentinians. And then when you get the Indian, the Asian community, this includes people from Bangladesh, Cambodia, China, India, Japan, Korea, Malaysia, the Philippines, Thailand. People are working together. And what does this mean? That there is a redistribution in terms of resources and political power. And so Black people, we have to come together to support one another. And we have to look far ahead into the future generations. We can't just think about ourselves and just now. You have state representatives who are not concerned about other Black districts. You have aldermen who are not concerned about other wards. You have our Black ministers who are not concerned about other churches. So our Black leaders who are concerned about their organizations. And this passes down to us as individuals, and we're only concerned about ourselves and our families. And we have to learn how to come together and work together. That's where our power is. We're supporting our Black bookstores. We are supporting our Black banks. We are supporting our Black farmers. Our Black farmers address the issue with our food distribution. I don't know if you've paid too much attention lately, but there are items that were always on the shelf that are either limited or not there. I've gone into some stores and there were no apples and no, limited water, the price of water go up, to have some control over our food distribution. Where we're depositing our money as far as these banks are concerned, these banks to make investments, to make loans, to create more money. Who is benefiting? So where we're depositing our money is having an impact on what comes back to us. And then our Black bookstores, which we've indicated a number of times, we once had 23 Black bookstores in Chicago. We have 3 left. But this is where our knowledge base is. This is where many people who, for the first time going to college or going outside the public school and having taking classes, learned information about our history and about our people, our condition for the first time. So we definitely ask you to support these Black bookstores. This month, we featured as a Black bookstore every month on our website, Frontline Bookstore, located in Hyde Park, to say cool. And we also sponsor a book giveaway. And the book of the month is Lessons for African People by Marcus Garvey. This book was selected by Brother Sekou, the proprietor of Frontline. And then next month, we will be featuring Underground, whose proprietor is Brother Yo, and he will select the book for us. So we will be announcing that winner at the end of our show. So tonight, we're bringing to you, as every week, a Black business that is located in the Chicago area. And tonight, we're going to be listening to the proprietor of Gone Again Travel, situated on the west side of Chicago, in the Austin area. So we're asking you to sit and listen and learn and listen to about for work that is doing in the Austin area. She's going above beyond just a regular travel agent. So without further commentary, I am bringing to you our weekly podcast, Behind Black Business, and our gracious host, Gregory Sane. Thank you.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. And thank you so much, Denise, for the great work you continue to do. And I love your passion as you continue to inspire our people, and you continue to talk about not only the bookstores having 23 and only, I guess, 2 or 3 left, but you know, I'll say this, and as we bring our guests on, you know, we have to be crystal clear. You know, I am, you know, very honored, Sister Crystal Dyer, to have you on this evening. And as you heard Denise talk about the travesties, you know, and I heard Denise say, out of respect, she used leaders. I really don't think we should refer to any of them as leaders, because leaders, proper leadership, would not at all be missing in action. As you know, and I know, that this is a time for real strong, courageous, and really not out of tune leadership to be really prepared. This is a really different day. This is a whole different world that's ushering in right now that will impact every single business. And I got some questions for you as you talk about, you know, your business Gone Again Travel, because I love that. You know, someone would come up to me and say, "You gone again, huh? you gone again? Yeah, or you gone again?" And it was like you gone again, and it was like that. You was like, you gone again. They wouldn't even say no more than, "Are you got to be out of you gone again?" And even when people see you leaving the house, the neighbors were like, "You gone again?" And that was nice. And now we in a world where can you go again? And at what cost? Let's see. That's God talking. At what cost can you go again? But I want you to talk about this business that you built. But I had to, as I listened to Denise passionately, like Sister Doris, really, this is our time. As dark as it gonna get in terms of Denise mentioned no apples at one particular store, no waters. Be prepared because you will one day it's gonna get bad, but it's gonna get better. We just need to be prepared for real leadership. God ain't gonna leave us just hanging, but we gotta claim it, and we gotta be prepared to assume the responsibility that the other folks have been derelict in their leadership or duty per se. So anyway, this is a good time, and we're gonna be positive, we're gonna be encouraged, and etc. We're gonna be faithful, but we're gonna be realistic. So it is such an honor, Sister Krista, on this beautiful Wednesday rainy night here in Chicago, and you over on the west side, which is the best side of Chicago. Are you originally from the west side, or are you originally from another part of Chicago? I know many people from the west side came from the south. My family, they didn't end up on the west side, but I think one of my uncles, they stopped through there, but we ended up on the south side from Greenville, Mississippi. So tell us some about yourself before we get into any questions or about your business. Let us know who you are and what's going on with you, and how long have you been involved with such a great name of business, Gone Again Travel. Go ahead, Sister Krista. What's happening?
Okay, it is such a great honor to have this invitation today. First of all, Gregory, from Denise and yourself to, be on the show. Denise has great passion, just like you and me and all the other Black business owners that are out here. So just to tell you about myself, I was born in Ida B. Wells over on the south side. Okay.
Got a street named after you now.
Exactly. So yeah, and I grew up on the south side of Chicago, in Inglewood, and I moved to the west side back in '83. Actually, the city of Chicago had a program, and I got a house for $1. And
Oh,
that's
you did?
yeah, I got a house for $1
Oh,
that actually existed back in the '80s through the Department of Housing, and I moved from the South Side to the Austin community, and so I picked a house, and then they the program refurbished the house and everything, and at the time gave me a 3% loan on the
wow.
mortgage. Okay, and if I lived in the house for 15 years, after that point, I could sell the house. So I did stay. And I raised my kids in the Austin community. Yeah. And
Oh,
so,
wow. So you took advantage of that program, $1,
yes, sir, I
and
did.
then the
I did.
3%
Yes, yes,
interest?
yes. 3% interest at the
Wow.
time. Yeah. So
And this was back in the 80s?
this was in the '80s. Yeah. It was about 83, 1983. It took about a year or so for them to refurbish the house. And then me and my family moved into the house. Yeah.
And so you stayed on the west side?
I stayed on the west side. I found love of this community, and like I say, raised my kids. I was a single parent, and I worked for AT&T Communications, and it was close to my job. Actually, I worked downtown, and so it's like, gosh, I used to live like all the way over on the east side in Chicago, on the south side, and that was quite a long ride to get downtown. So I'm thinking, what? I can get downtown in 15 minutes? Oh, I'm stuck to the west side. Okay. So that's
Oh,
how that
nice.
came about.
So where did you get this interest to go into travel after working for AT&T? When did you start it?
Well, actually, while I was working for AT&T, I call
You were
myself.
stealing away. Before I forget, you were stealing away. Not the other steal, but stealing away off the plantation to have your. But go ahead. When did you?
So at the time, and I still am to this day, my friends would always call me for advice. And, and so at that time, I had found, ways to travel and, plan ahead. And so my friends would call me all the time. And so one day, a lady at my job, she says, Crystal, after you finish your work, all you do is talk to your friends about travel. Why don't you just do that full time? I said, really? Huh. I never thought about that. And I called employee education for AT&T, and I said, hey, if I wanted to go to school for travel, would y'all pay for it? And the guy said, yeah. And I said, well, but I don't know where school is. And he told me, at the time I was working out in Rolling Meadows, and there was a school at Harper College. And it was, at that time, it was a travel academy. And so I enrolled, AT&T paid for it, and I went to the travel academy for like a year and a half after work. Yeah, a couple of days a week.
So what did you get? A certificate or a
Yeah,
in travel?
It was a certificate program in travel and meeting planning. And
Okay.
so I took the program. And at the time, that's when Expedia, the airlines had just formed Expedia at that time when I finished. Because originally I wanted to quit my day job at AT&T and, work in corporate travel. But, the airlines had, done the industry, and those corporate travel locations had started to lay off people. So I said,
I'm glad. Well, you know what? I'm glad that you have another. I'm glad that you're doing this because I know it was booming at one time. Is it profitable? As far as being a travel agent, how profitable is it?
I mean, travel has always been profitable. It's always about volume. And so people that it's a business, right? And so having that foundation, going to, a travel school, or even understanding, like taking a business course prior to starting any business, you learn the groundwork. So then okay, hey, in order to make this amount of money, I have to have a plan. How many groups am I going to book? How many individuals? Although the suppliers pay us a commission out of hotels, car rentals, and so forth. And that's how we make our money. But again, it's in volume.
Okay. I know. I noticed. I was reading something a lot on you in terms of something was like CTA accredited travel advisor, right? But are there many Black people with travel agency? I know a few people who've been involved with these other programs where folks are making money. Supposedly, they try to invite you in to if you go through them and some discount hotel travel. But with your company, your own company, are you franchised or is
No,
it your?
yeah, no, this is my company. I have all the credentials as, any big, you know, company. I mean, I have the same credentials Expedia has, right? And so forth. So I'm not, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about those multi-level marketing companies where they try to, they sell it as, okay, I hate to say this word, pyramid type thing. Okay, you got to bring somebody in order to make some money,
Okay.
and in real life, sales is how you make your money. Okay. And that's being a traditional company such as Gone Again Travel, that's how I make my money. I don't, I do have outside agents that work for my company. I have agents in Chicago, I have agents in Phoenix, Arizona. And but I teach them from the bottom up, right?
Oh,
So
good.
it's
So they
about
work for you. So
yes.
they your agents, one here in Chicago, one in
Mhm.
Phoenix. So
Yeah.
how many people do you have employed at your company?
Right now, well, of course, before COVID,
Right, right.
I had two, and right
Okay.
now it's just myself and one part-time person. Yeah.
Yeah. So before COVID, and let's talk about that. Let's talk about before COVID, and let's talk about how you have been able to sustain your business while COVID continues to go on. And what are your plans? And exactly, we don't have to really talk about the bottom line, none of that. But
Mm-hmm.
one way you just mentioned, you cannot keep people employed when you don't have people flying and traveling. So, what are your plans in terms of sustainability? As far as, are you training other people still to learn the business? At some point, hopefully, we'll see what is considered normality at some
Mm-hmm.
point in this world. But so, what do you foresee? Like, what is your forecast for your business?
Well, under the circumstances, I've been in business 22 years. Okay.
Oh,
I
great.
started my business when I finished school in 1999. So I've got 22 years worth of clients. So I have a sustainable business model. Okay. Because those same clients, they refer customers to me all the time and they are still traveling. So once we got past, let's say to the end of last year, around November, those clients, of course, were busting out the walls and they were like, hey, I got to get away. And so they started booking all kind of stuff, right? And then they also were referring their friends and family. So, I've been able to sustain, like they say, keep the lights on, right? At the agency, so this year I can say I have not probably made a profit, but I have been able to keep the lights on. And so I have trips right now booked out all the way into 2023. Okay.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so that's when, the big, you know, umbrella is going to open from those big group trips. And so, and then also having the only Black owned brick and mortar travel agency in Chicago. Okay. I also do different programs at my agency, so I'm a person that believes in, well, I'm part of the community. Okay, that's number one. So in the spring, I decided, I said, you know what, let me help people get out the house. So I invented this tour called the Chi-Town Soul Trolley. Okay. And every month I rent this red trolley and in the people's fee, we it's a Black restaurant and history tour. So we stop at these designated places. People, I mean, are just really enjoying it. So
That's
all
you that's doing that.
that's me,
It
right? If
is
you
such a
it,
creative, amazing idea. Because I know did you do the one in Bronzeville?
no, I haven't. No, I wasn't doing that one. I do it only on the west side. So this is a west
Okay,
side,
West
so
Side.
like I say, bringing attention to the west side. We see the news all the time. And that as I call it, recreating the narrative. So people know, hey, like you said in your intro, the West Side is actually the best side, okay? And so, we got a lot of good things and a lot of good people over here. And so that's what I wanted people to know when I created that tour for the Chi-Town Soul Trolley.
Oh, great. Now, the fact that you still sustaining yourself. What age group of people normally do business with you, and do we get a better deal by going through a travel agency than we would just trying to book a trip? And I know it's stuff when it comes to the hotels, and I guess rental cars are crazy right now in terms of the cost of rental cars. But is it a better benefit to go through, your company when we're booking trips? And I know you said 23 years of clientele. And there's some people, they don't go on trips. They call you and say, this is where we want to go. Do you help people find destinations, or they already have them in mind, etc.?
I do all of the above. Because, see, first of all, booking with a travel agency, you get my expertise. I've traveled the world, I've studied all these destinations, and, you know, I call myself a wizard, but my little grandson is 8. He told me, Grandma, you can't be a wizard because a wizard is a guy. You'd have to be a witch. But
No, he did not.
I say,
How
no,
old
dude.
is he?
He was 7 at the time. But I
Boy,
say, no.
that boy right there. We're going to send you on the trip, boy.
And I say, no, man, I'm a wizard. Because, see, with my expertise, even when people do not know where they want to go, I can go within myself because I do this all day, every day, right? And so I can suggest things to people that they never thought of. People can tell me their budget, like some people, those people that are literally, oh, well, if I tell you my budget, it may cost me. No, that's not the case. Every place we go, of course, we have to have a budget. Sometimes the person's budget may be unrealistic. And so I can let them know, hey, because my job is to always find you something that is the best option, okay, the best quality, okay, and that's what I do, and when I come in under that budget, that is fantabulous, right? And so, but you have to start somewhere.
I
And
love.
so,
I know. I love it. I love it.
mhm.
You speaking of your 7-year-old, do you have any kind of programs to teach young people right now this business? Because that's the unfortunate part when we start talking about leadership, so-called leadership. We really don't pass the baton. We really are not training the youth of what we know. And I pray and hope that there are some young people are benefiting from your knowledge and the fact that you're able to set up a business. And it's a lucrative business when it's booming, as you said, it's booming. But just young people, do you have any training or any type of dealings with young people as far as understanding this business?
Yes, I do. I founded a nonprofit 6 years ago, Chicago Austin Youth Travel Adventures, and the tagline is "I teach kids to soar." And so I take youth. They're normally 14 to, and some are going to college age, like 23, and I actually teach them business skills. Okay, I teach them the groundwork of travel. I take them on cultural immersion journeys around Chicago. They research the cultures, whatever the topic is for that particular week, and then they teamwork. They work together and put together, a paper, and then we go to the cultural center because I want kids to also learn that every culture had problems, okay? And I want to teach them and let them see and learn, but how did they get past their problems, okay? And
Right.
so, yeah, so I have some exemplary students that have, and it's so beautiful when, you call, they're my kids, right? And they're these young people who came into the travel agency, and now, all of them are traveling. Okay, they're traveling. They to places. A lot of them had never been even
And
downtown.
they go through your company.
Oh yeah, of course,
Hey,
of
look,
course.
you got it, and that's what I'm talking about. That's the type of pipeline and traveling that we need, because we talk a big talk in terms of black this, black that, but we don't do no real mentoring. We don't do any networking, real sustainable networking where it counts. When you were doing the trolley, what are some of the businesses that you would visit? What type of business was it? Was just a variety of businesses that you would, just take people on like a tourist bus, and it was just people from the neighborhood who did not even know some restaurants, I'm sure, even existed.
Exactly.
So what was it? Just restaurants, or was it what different type of businesses, or what?
Yeah, different type of businesses. I actually expose people to art and event centers. One place is over on Ashland. It used to be a Episcopal church for over 100 years, and now it's an art and entertainment center. And the Black History portion of it was Fred Hampton had his meetings there.
Oh
Uh,
boy.
and then actually when he that was murdered, they
That's right.
eulogized him at that same church. And then there's black restaurants. Right on my block, there's a sweet shop called Sweet Treats. And so they make Chicago style popcorn, the best gelato I've ever tasted outside of Italy, and then all different types of candies, and it's black owned. Different. There's actually a new Black History Museum on Madison Street on the west side. People don't. They like what? What? Where did that come from?
Look, now here go me. What?
Right. Exactly.
Madison,
Right
a
on
black
Madison.
museum.
A Black History Museum called Future Drive. That's on
Okay.
Madison. It's two
Gotta
doors.
check that
It's
out.
2 doors east of MacArthur's Soul Food Restaurant. And
Right.
yeah, it just opened, a few months ago. So these are the type of places, and then there's other restaurants, vegan. And then the other part too, I wanted people to know there are healthy soul food restaurants, right? People always think, soul food, has to be full of something, fat and all of this other stuff. But there's a restaurant, Two Sisters, and she, healthy soul food, with no beef, no fried food, and her greens are to die for. Okay, I heard some people on the tour say, I heard this man say, this was last month. He says to his brother, "Man, this is the best food I had outside of Mama's." Okay, and these were two white guys.
Wow.
Because that's what I'm telling you. This trolley tour, people have come from all over the city and the suburbs, okay, for this trolley tour.
So how often do you do it?
I do it once a month. So the next one is September the 18th.
I know folks are saying you need to do this every weekend.
I know they do. They do say that also. And people call me from out of town, okay, because they really think.
You got any left? You got any trips left before the fall, or during the fall, or before the other stuff gets in here?
Yes, I do have 2 more dates. I have a date for September and one for October, and people can get the information at blackheritage.tours.
blackheritage.tour.
Tours.
And
Yeah.
and we could put that up there. Blackheritage dot tour.
Yeah, with an S. Yeah. Yeah. And
And I know that everybody is restricted, period, in terms of traveling. It's risky. It's very risky, regardless of where you're going. And I know internationally, the likelihood of that is, I mean, just based on what I'm reading and what I'm hearing, I'm sure people still going places, especially the people that say, hey, I'm vaccinated. I can go where I want to go. I got my passport and they let me move around. So on one hand, that will benefit, I guess, certain businesses. But if those are the travelers, that want to go internationally. But what's your thoughts about that, and as far as people traveling internationally, say to the motherland or Europe or wherever they're going? What do you think?
Well, Europe is pretty restricted right now, and you have to have the vaccine. You have to have the vaccine passport in order to get into Europe. I'm planning a trip today for a gentleman that's going to Greece next month. And he was, kind of against getting the vaccine. But, I had to inform him, a month ago that you cannot go. They're not going to let you in Europe without that vaccine. Now, as far as going to the motherland, Ghana is pretty much COVID free. And so they have, yes, it is, believe it, they are pretty much COVID free. And they, from the beginning, instituted rules. Okay. When this COVID thing first hit, Ghana stepped right up and they made their rules and they stuck to them. And so they have, like I said, I got reps because I do a lot of trips to Ghana before the pandemic, and I have trips now planned for 22 and 23. And yeah,
what's the average cost? What's the average cost now for those trips to Ghana?
Well, the average cost, I always include airfare in my cost. So the average cost can be, somewhere depending on the number of days, it could be 4,000, 4,500. Yeah.
Is it more now or less since the COVID?
Well, you know what? I think as far as Africa is concerned, it's the same. Now, this is something I saw this summer. When you're going to places in the Caribbean, they did hike the airfare substantially. Okay. I mean, I saw airfares to Mexico that were just ridiculous. Okay. And but they did that like right in the middle of the summer because they realized that a lot of people had just really woke up out of their COVID nightmare and decided they wanted to travel. And so they hiked up all the airfares on people. But the beauty of a lot of my clients, they plan ahead. And that's the true beauty of booking with a travel agent. See, you can plan ahead and get a payment plan, right? So when you pay that down payment, they're paid for and they're ready to go.
I know that's right.
Okay.
And I love what you just said. That's the way we, hey, sis, that's the way we operate. Payment plans. We are layaway people. And guess what? You feel real good when you're on that trip that you've already made it easy for yourself. Right. So I noticed that you mentioned Crystal 2023. Is that the projection that a lot of people are feeling comfortable saying, you know what? I'm not going to plan anything for 2022. I'm just going to let that be because things still kind of wishy-washy, blah, blah, blah. But we believe we'll be all right in 2023. You getting a lot of that?
Well, from where I sit as a agent, I believe 22 is gonna set us free. Okay. So 22, because I saw a lot of travel this year. Okay. A lot of travel this year. And so, but for those people who were kind of on the fence, 22 is the year. Okay. So right now, which is, September, between September and say November, are some of the biggest times for people to start putting their deposits down for next year. You see,
Good,
and
good.
so exactly. So yeah. So this is the time now, for people to look, spin that world globe they got, or Google or whatever, and say, hey, where do I want to go? And then what's my budget for this trip, wherever it is. Because before COVID, I sent a lot of people to Europe. People would stay gone a month at a time. Africa. But I do a lot of Caribbean. I do destination weddings, and I do
Do
family
you
trips.
so tell me this, Sister Chris? Do you book some of those? Do you book some of these trips while you're on the beach?
I'm telling you, man, my feet will
Hey,
be in
look,
the
I'm
water.
sure, right?
Okay.
I'm sure at some point in time, years ago, I don't know how many years ago, you were booking trips, getting, hold on, excuse me, y'all. And you was like, let me respond to this. And you already on a trip yourself. Do you
Yes.
travel like that?
Oh, yes, sir. Because you know what? In 2019, okay, I traveled twice a month. I would get off of one trip. Oh my God, I can't even tell you. I'd be on a cruise, jump from the cruise, go to Africa, jump from Africa, go to Cuba,
Jesus.
leave Cuba, go to a conference in Florida, come back, jump
No,
on
no,
another
sis.
cruise and stuff. And
I
my
love
clients,
it.
they are, I'll answer the phone and they'll say, hey, Crystal, I'm calling her, and I'll do the camera thing and I'll show them my feet in the water, right? Or me sitting in,
That's good advertisement.
exactly. So
I
yes,
love it. I love
yes.
it. Are there any, look, are there any in the Austin area?
Hmm.
You doing the traveling business that you're doing, are you connected to any business networks over there, the political apparatus in the Austin area? I do know some of the state reps, I don't know if Camille have that, Lily or Kimberly or whoever it is over in those areas, Lyford. But do you work with the Black Chamber of Commerce or any of these other Black entities? Do you have a relationship with any Black businesses at
Oh,
all there?
sure. Yeah, definitely. I mean, Camille Lilly is the state rep, and then also state rep LaShawn K. Ford. I mean, there's some of my greatest advocates over here from the day, before, because LaShawn Ford is a family friend. And then Camille Lilly, I mean, they both been on the Chi-Town Soul Trolley, okay?
Oh, nice,
Yeah,
nice.
so
What
they are,
about Kimberly Lyford? Did she ever
you
get,
know
or
what?
Deborah Vines?
Oh, they're out in, I guess,
More,
Maywood.
yeah, more Maywood area.
Yeah, yeah. So they don't come over this way, or they haven't. I haven't seen them lately, but I know both of them. Yeah. And
Oh,
then
good.
also there's the Austin Chamber of Commerce. I'm on the board, and
I know some
mhm,
folks. I want to bring in Doris and Denise. If we
mhm.
could get them both on, we normally they come in at the end, but they need to come in sooner. Some of these shows, because they are absolutely amazing individuals. But if we could get Denise and Doris to come in, Simon, why don't you bring them in too? Um, and where's Denise? There's Doris. We could see Doris' beautiful eyes. She's been having fun with different computers and etc. Uh, this evening. So I think Doris is a traveler. Doris and definitely Denise. when it comes to the motherland and it comes to wherever. Uh, but there are a lot of things that, when it comes to certain businesses, we always, as you heard in the beginning of this show, it's really about supporting our community, right? But yet you heard Denise mention, unfortunately, the disappearance. A lot of businesses are disappearing. But then we have businesses that are still hanging in there. We got to support those that are still there. Unfortunately, the black bookstores, it was 23, the black banks. I work for one, they disappearing. We have to find a way to recreate that energy. I don't know what generation, Doris, is going to be that could go back and reclaim our community. A lot of stuff we know, because when people, it's sometimes it's frustrating for me when people say, Rosewood and this and that and et cetera. It's like, it's good. I mean, we got models, but how do we get people to take interest in really understanding this is the only way we're going to change the dynamics of our struggle by doing business with each other, but we don't even know. Because this is my first time. Not that I didn't know, your business, but I'm definitely going to, when I go on any trips again, it will be through your business. Trust me.
Thank you so much.
Oh, period. Believe me, I'm calling you. And no, I don't want to go out to O'Hara though, but make sure it's on Southwest. But anyway, Doris and Denise, what is it about the travel industry, thinking about our community? Because when we talk about supporting and getting the word out, and people know, and we're doing that right now. Whoever's watching know that you exist. I know, like me, so I'm gonna go out of my way to do business. But what other angles when it comes to this business, Doris, Denise, you all would like to just pose a question or statement to our guests this evening?
Well, Crystal, this is, I want to thank you for coming on the show. And I'm really excited because my grandson is graduating from Morehouse in May of 2022, and I want to take him to Ghana. Now, I've been several countries on the continent, but I've never been to Ghana. So I want to take him to Ghana. So I will be coming to see you. And it is so essential that we have Black travel agencies because, and for the sole purpose, if not anything else, of encouraging our young people to go see the world. The more exposed you are, the better you're able to deal with whatever you're dealing with on your job, because it makes you comfortable with the world. I always told my grandchildren, you're not just citizens of Jackson, Chicago, or Oak Park. You are citizens of the world. You are international. And that's what we must tell our children, so they won't be just limited to a street. The majority of our children are limited to a street, but we need to talk traveling the United States and traveling around the world so that they can see what other young people are doing. So, Crystal, I am just so happy to know that you've been in this business for so long. And as I said, I will be coming. I'm in Jackson, Mississippi right now. But as soon as I get back to Chicago, I will come and talk to you about planning a trip with my grandson to Ghana.
Okay, thank you so much. And you can always reach me, at the office location or on my cell phone also. So I'll give Denise that number.
Great.
Okay, thank you so much.
Well, I agree with Doris in terms of how important it is to travel. And I think what you're doing that's really great is you're going outside of the country, but you're also dealing with what's going on in your community. So you're taking people around to different businesses in the community. And that's what I've discovered in my activism as far as addressing the issue of our Black businesses is there are many Black businesses out here. And I think, we as creatures of habit, we go to the same place all the time. We take the same route all the time, and we just drive past so many things that you're just not even aware of. And so bringing people into your community, and taking them to the businesses in your community and learning about the history in your community, because it starts at home. You got a good, strong foundation, and you know where you're coming from, then wherever you go, you're going to be comfortable. But you got to know what's going on right there in your community. So that's when you told me about what you were doing with that trolley. I'm like, I don't know why all of the Black travel agencies, aren't doing this, or trying to do it on the South Side, because there's so much history. And as our communities are being gentrified, a lot of our history is being destroyed. I cringe. I know the drummer, the drummer of the what's the rock group that just passed away. I can't think of his name. Drummer just passed, and they used to come to the Checkerboard Lounge to listen to blues. That's where they got it from. That's why they got their song from. That's where they got their beat, their rhythm from. And I couldn't believe it when they closed the Checkerboard Lounge, moved it over into Hyde Park, and it died. But there was so much history there. Like you say, people are coming here from other countries, and they're checking with you because they want to see these things. They're this is this over out of the past records. People come here from other countries. They want to visit there. They know what they have there. And you have people right there in the community that don't even know about their record store. Right here in Chicago, do not even know about this record store. And so what you're doing is very important. It's very important. And I really applaud you for doing it. And you're taking up that mantle to do it yourself. Like I said, we can't depend on these leaders and, self-acclaimed leaders and politicians, what have you. We have to do this ourselves.
Right. And that is so true. Go ahead.
Crystal, do you take children? Do you take children on this trolley, and do you come to the South Side?
Right now, no. This summer's initiative was only directed for the West Side of Chicago, because in a lot of cases, I look at the West Side as sometimes forgotten from the city. The negative narratives, are always around. And I wanted people to know, guess what? We got great businesses, Black-owned businesses right here. I wanted the residents to know, just like Denise is saying, they'll pass by these places right here in their community and go over to Oak Park or one of these other suburbs. No. That's and right. So even some of the residents, on the tribe, they says, gosh, I never knew this restaurant was here. So, and then I wanted them to know too, why these businesses, these Black-owned businesses, were so invested to stay here, to serve them. Okay. And so that's why it has been such a great success also.
I love that, what you just said, because yes, people right here on the South Side, they go up to this restaurant called Uncle Remus. And they don't know it started on the West Side. They just sitting there licking their fingers and on 47th Street and don't know the history. That's the real travesty, is the West Side have so much history. You don't even think the West Side exists. Everything is about the South Side. And honestly, there's a whole different culture and a whole lot of other businesses that get neglected because most people don't travel. There's some wise enough, because we've had now at least 2 or 3 businesses from the Austin area of the West Side on this show. And you mentioned a vegan restaurant. That might be the same restaurant.
I think it is. Vegan World.
Vegan World.
Oh, that's the new one.
Right. Well, he was just, him and his wife was
Okay.
just on the show a few weeks ago. And that type of connection is important. But I understand because Doris, one of the things, and you could answer this, Sister Crystal, will your travel from the west side, because you got a whole lot of people, but people from the south side call you too, right?
Oh yeah.
When it
Oh,
comes to traveling.
I got clients from Indiana, Atlanta, I mean, California, you know. So I have clients, Black clients. I can tell y'all this, 99% of my clients are Black, African Americans, okay?
That's
And I am so
wonderful. That is
proud of
wonderful.
that, okay? Because, see, one thing I know from experience, you know, people from other cultures, they came from other countries, right? So they
Yeah,
got
right,
travel companies they always use. We were born
right.
here in America, okay? So, you know, who do we go to? You see, and so when people discovered, you know, that I was a Black owned company, of course I did advertising and stuff, they found pride in booking their travel with me.
Where do you
Hmm.
advertise? Do you
Uh,
advertise on some of the Black radio stations?
Actually, you know, just on you know, Facebook, you know, on social media platforms, Google, because I get, you know, yeah, and I have advertised on WVON and then of course some other avenues.
Well, you got RRGBC now.
Okay,
This is your home.
That's
Everybody
right.
that come on this show, we embracing them. We are creating a family. We are creating what's necessary to move our community to where it needs to be moved, because we don't talk.
Mhm.
We don't.
No.
We talk a lot of Black talk, but unfortunately, we don't support each other like we need to.
That's
And
And
right.
I need to tell y'all also that I have an initiative with Chicago Austin Youth Travel Adventures where I'm taking 200 kids to Ghana
Oh,
in
what?
the next
wonderful,
2 years.
When now?
Yes,
wonderful.
When
yes,
y'all need
200.
chaperones? Then when we going?
I have been raising funds, and right now I've raised enough for 90 kids to go to
Oh,
Ghana.
you can't do this trip without chaperones.
Well,
So
you know
what are our dates?
okay. So, you know, so that's my passion. The kids and the community are my passion. The Black community and the kids,
Love
and
it,
you know,
love
and
it.
serving and being a servant of the community, you know, and teaching
Beautiful,
our
beautiful.
kids that they have a future. You see, they have a future. Okay. And
Mhm.
we can show and share that with them.
Well, you
And
I
know what,
love it.
Crystal,
Crystal,
tell them about your event that you have coming up in September.
Oh, okay. The Ghana Again event is a, you
Mhm.
know, it's a swing on on Ghana, and it's going to be a 1 day event on September 11th, and there's going to be vendors, music, you know, entertainment, and it's a free event. You know, vendors, you know, I'm still looking for vendors or food trucks for the event, but
Oh,
please come out.
we coming to that.
Where
Look,
is
let me
it? Where is it going to be located?
It's at on the 5900 block of Chicago Avenue, right in front of my travel agency. My travel agency is at 5940 West Chicago Avenue.
Okay,
excellent,
we
excellent.
will
well, you,
advertise it on our front page. Okay.
Okay,
We
great,
got a
great.
couple of
All
more
right.
minutes. We're going. I look. Let me
well,
thank you for
You,
joining us. Go ahead, Doris.
Crystal,
Yes.
Crystal, I'm excited to hear that you're taking 200 of our children to Ghana, because as you know, as you travel around, as I travel around this world, what you see on the planes are young white kids. They have their
Mhm.
kids with them, taking them wherever
That
they
is
go.
true.
So this is really wonderful to know that you're doing
Beautiful.
that, because our children need to be exposed to the world. And I think it would just make them better, better human beings, better individuals when they can see something beyond where they live. So that is wonderful.
And that's
Yes.
great. Art, we got to go. But are these children being sponsored by someone?
Yeah, different organizations are sponsoring youth that we currently have slated, and then we're raising money for, continually. It's a continual process.
We'll keep the word out, but thank you so much for coming. Doris, why don't you close us out? But thank you,
Crystal.
Crystal, have a wonderful evening. Miss Doris Lewis.
Thank you. Wonderful show. Family, as you can see, this is what we do every week. We bring on a reputable Black business owner so that we can highlight our Black businesses in the Black community. Now, we are still taking donations. We need your donations, so you can donate with Zelle or Cash App or with PayPal. But what I am so excited about tonight is that Miss Vivian Tyler Stewart, she won our book of the month. And the name of the book of the month is Lessons for African People by Marcus Garvey. So congratulations, Vivian, and I hope that you will enjoy this book. But again, family, this is what we do every Wednesday night. We're highlighting Black businesses because we're trying to turn that dollar around. We want that dollar to come from the Indians, the Asians, the Arabs. We want that dollar to go back into Black businesses so I can hire our young people. So we need your support. Go to rrgbc.org and donate. And I want to thank you for listening tonight, and tune in next week. Same RRGBC will be presenting another Black business owner. Again, thank you very much. And don't forget to hit that button, donate. We can, as I said, you can use Zelle, you can use Cash App, and you can use PayPal. This is how we're able to continue this show. We need your donations, $5, $10, $15, whatever you can donate. We would highly appreciate it. And thank you again for tuning in tonight, and good evening.